Hello, lovely people. This is Sakino on Sunday again. Today I want to talk about a subject, a theme, which is really not easy for me to talk about. I woke up this morning and I realized it's Mother's Day. At least in Germany, and I think in other European countries as well. Mother's Day has always been a controversial theme for me. There are so many aspects to this in my mind. And I want to share a few thoughts and reflections that I have been having this morning. In most publications and most comments on this day, I feel there is only one side that is expressed, and that's, if I may call it that, a very romanticized version of this day. Like Happy Mother's Day, and I had the best mother in the world, I miss you, and all of that. And I have full appreciation for that, because how lucky are you if you feel towards your mother like that you had the best mother in the world, that your mother was just perfect, flawless, beautiful. If you had a mother like that, well, you are so lucky. I did not. Actually, I never really had a relationship with my mother. I felt always like an alien in relationship to my mother. I felt an alien in my family in general, but especially to my mother. Well, there was no such thing like a loving, heartful, embracing, caressing relationship. And I think this was due to the fact that she, as far as I understand it and see it, she really wasn't a woman who wanted children. She had children because she was Catholic, and she married my father after the war. And to be Catholic and married, at least at that time, meant you have children, because the only purpose of having sex was having children. So she had 10. I was the second. The first child died an hour after birth, and very soon after she became pregnant with me. And I can feel even now in all my cells and bones how unhappy she was and how burdened she felt. Throughout the pregnancy, a very heavy, difficult birth, and then one child after the other. And I always experienced her as very depressed, but never showing how much she suffered. Being dutiful, doing her duties with the children as was expected. She was more affectionate with my brothers, but with me it was always difficult. I was a very willful child, and I was not living up to her expectations, obviously. So my relationship to my mother is not easy. She is now already dead for more than 40 years. And I am not in the situation to say how it would have been in the years to come if she hadn't died so early. So I have no experience how it is to have an aging mother. She died at a time when me and her had not found a way to be close to each other in any way. What I feel towards my mother today is deep gratitude that despite the fact that she didn't want to have children, that also physically the physicians had said it wasn't, her body actually didn't really fit to have children. So she went through a lot of suffering. So I am grateful that she gave me birth anyway. I am also grateful because I owe to her that I was allowed to go to high school against the will of my father. So thanks to her, I am today where I am, that I could study psychology, that I could pursue my professional career in a way that I would never have been able to do without that support in that particular time when my teacher said that I was intelligent enough to go to high school. So my mother forced it through against my father. And that I am very, very grateful for. So my heart is grateful to her. But I'm also very realistic. She did what she could. This I'm very, very convinced about. But I have no romance feelings towards her. And then I'm also thinking not only about myself, but about all the mothers in the world who were not consciously choosing to be mothers, who had sex at a time where they were too young and they didn't know enough and they became pregnant. And in my youth, in the place where I grew up, if a young girl or woman would be pregnant without being married, they were forced to give the child away. So my heart goes out to those mothers who became mothers without conscious choice, and then they couldn't even be mothers because the child was taken away. And this breaks my heart to think of that. And I know of a few women like that. All those women who are living in cultures where they are forced into marriages, even at a very early age. And they are even kind of raped and become pregnant and become mothers. How about them? It's not Happy Mother's Day for them. And then I think also of the women who wanted to become mothers like me, and they lost their children. by miscarriage. So Mother's Day for me is a very, very diverse and even contradictory, not easy to handle day. And I'm really happy for those of you whose relationships to their mother is filled with unconditional love, gratefulness, and admiration. And those of you who are mothers, and I know many of you who are mothers in just such a wonderful, wonderful way. You do your very, very best to raise your children well, to love them unconditionally. And my heart goes out to you too, because those children are the lucky ones. They have you who want to be their mothers. And they have you to take care of them in the best possible way. And I remember there is a saying that it's the saying, the good enough mother. In that sense, yes, the good enough mother for me means mothers are good enough the best they can. And this is again might cause some controversy. When I work with people and I look into family dynamics with family constellations, well, sometimes it's really heartbreaking what we see in the dynamics. And I have seen mothers who were evil and doing evil to their children. I have seen that. It's not that every mother is a good mother. But then when I look into that dynamic of that family, I can always see what happened to those women in their childhood. And without exception, they haven't been treated well either. So they don't know how to be a good mother and how to be with their children in the best possible way, because they haven't experienced it themselves. So how can they know? So as you can hear and feel possibly, this theme is really, really difficult. It's emotionally difficult and challenging for me on many, many levels. And I wanted to share those thoughts with you because it's Mother's Day. And it should be allowed to have all kinds of thoughts and emotions on this day. My heart is going out to you, and I am having in my mind's eye, I am having many, many of you before me and looking at me, and I'm looking at you. And I'm sending you all my love, all my good wishes, and may the universe bless you, raising children or not raising children, and contributing in different ways to the best of the development of the world. Good Mother's Day to you.